So I'm standing here with Kevin Vaughn again, who is, in my world, Kevin, you are my plant breeder extraordinaire.
Well, thank you.
And we're going to talk today about one of the plants that I think a lot of us really don't realize is a native, and that's the Pacific Coast iris.
Correct.
So tell me, first of all, they're stunning. So tell me a little bit about, first of all, why did you want to do breeding on these?
Well, I think they're a very fascinating group. Not many people work with them, for one thing, but the patterns and colors they have now are really just incredible. And considering these are only a couple of generations from the species, it's even more amazing. All these very finished-looking flowers we're getting.
So tell me what you mean by that. A couple generations from the species, meaning what does that mean?
Well, literally, all these species grew wild here on the West Coast.
And a long range of the West
That's right,
Coast.
from Washington all the way down to San Diego. And so all these species were then brought together by hybridizers and melded into this wonderful conglomerate that we now know as Pacific Coast native irises.
And that is one of the things that you work on when you're working with this, is just like other types of breeding, you want specific things to come out that aren't there.
Correct.
And what are some of those things?
Well, we like a very ruffled blossom. Very fat petals are some of the in things. And then, of course, things with these really unique patterns like this one here. I can walk through these beds every day just looking at these amazing flowers. So.
And I noticed that there, on some of the deeper purple, it's very obvious that there's some holes in them.
Oh.
What is that?
Well, Mother Nature throws the monkey wrench our way every now and then in the term of a hailstorm. And so they aren't resistant to hail. They're resistant to many other things.
That's all it is just hail then,
That's right, yeah. Unfortunately, it came right before your crew arrived.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, timing is everything. You know?
Well, and then I also noticed just to the left of where we're standing here are some really very tiny ones. What are these?
Okay, these are the babies. Okay, these are from crosses that I made in 2015 and wrote out. And in 1 year's time, they go from this to this.
Wait, 1
year.
Oh my.
So you get from one little sprig like this to a whole clump in 1 year's time.
And you'll get the blooms.
And the blooms come with it, yes.
So that really is a lot faster than a lot of breeding takes time to do, doesn't it?
Oh, much faster, yeah. So you can see your results in a year's time, essentially.
So now there's another place. Let's walk over and do a little more chatting, but at another place and look at some more different colors, okay?
Sounds great.
So now, Kevin, we are standing in front of something that you're going to tell, because I just assumed it was pollen directly from these plants that made the other plants, but tell us how this happens.
Well, to get new hybrids, what you do is you take pollen from one individual, say this one here, and you cross it with another individual, so let's say this one here, although I wouldn't want to do that cross, it would be ugly. It would be ugly. But what happens is that you get a pod that forms like this right here, and it matures and turns brown, and in September or October, you pick the seed, and there'll be 40, 50 seeds in the pod. You plant it in the fall, and almost all of them come up, you row them out, and every one of those seedlings is different.
Oh.
And you hope pretty, too.
Yeah, that's always the hope. So then another thing about these types of irises that I really like is they're very easy, and they handle a great specific space in the garden that a lot of plants struggle with. What is that?
Correct. I mean, here in the Pacific Northwest, I have a very hard time finding things that grow in dry shade.
Sure, sure.
Here we have, Douglas fir roots, maple tree roots, and the plants are just happy as all get out.
They're beautiful. Clearly they're beautiful.
Yep.
And then tell me, Kevin, when you're looking at plants that are blooming, what is it that you're hoping to make more specifically?
Well, this pattern here is called the Valley Banner pattern. It's Ruth Hardy many years ago in Eugene, Oregon, found an iris that had stripes on it, and she named it Valley Banner. And what Valley Banner did was put stripes on everything. And so from that legacy of that one plant she found in the wild, we have all these beautiful stripe patterns now in these Pacific Coast native iris.
Really proving what the change can happen from one person.
Correct.
That introduced that.
Just one little happenstance like that made all the difference.
Well, these are really an amazing iris, and they do so much good work in the garden that's really kind of easy on us once they get started.
Correct.
So for more information on where you might be able to find some, you can even order online. You can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to that website. Kevin, it is always a delight. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. Bye now.